Hello, my beautiful friends. I am driving home and I wanted to record this video for you because it is absolutely mind-blowing. If you follow me for a while, you have probably seen one of my videos where I say that we don't suffer from lack of energy. We actually have too much energy and not enough imagination of what to do with that energy, not enough skill yet to utilize all of that energy. So we are constantly looking for ways of getting rid of that energy. So we will eat to get rid of energy so that we start digesting food, and that'll take up some of the energy from our internal energy and kind of ease it up for us. We will also try to sleep and release some of that energy into the astral. We will also try to anything like having sex or stuff like that to release some of the extra energy that we're holding on. So energy drinks are actually it's a hoax, right? There's no such thing, but all they do is they just fluctuate your mineral imbalance inside, and you feel some sort of a high, like a sugar high. But it's not about that. Basically, the three main things that we do to get rid of our energy is sleep, so that we can, in that horizontal position, it flows out into a different dimension. I know that sounds crazy, but go with me on this one. I know what I'm talking about. Also, the food digestion, turning on our digestive system, requires energy, which actually is not mandatory for life, but I've been talking about this for a very long time, and I've also been following Tom Dykstra and John Kemp, their videos about the health of the soil and regenerative agriculture, and I find everything that they say that they apply to plants and the soil is also applicable to human beings. And they're scientists, farmers, scientists. Thomas Dykstra is a doctor of science in certain fields. I forgot what it's called. I'll link all that up to the video down. I'm just trying to get as much of the big picture to you right now, so I'm not going to focus on the details. But this information has been within me for a long time, right? And I'm not a scientist. This is something I just know. All of this information, of course, is coming from within. It is all stored within our DNA. And some of us access this information, some of us access that information, right? And some things you just know. You don't know why you know them. You just understand them very well. You know that it's like that, and you understand the world because of that. Now, Thomas Dykstra is scientifically proven, and has this video right now, which I highly encourage you to watch, about electrical conductivity of the soil, and that actually our soil has too much excessive electric conductivity, just like us. Why? Because of the salt. Because it has too much salt. Because salt is an electric conductor. If we were to conduct electricity to anything around us, we would use wires, right? We would use copper wires and conduct electricity to turn something on. Well, in soil there are no wires. There is salt. Salt is an electric conductor that conducts electricity throughout itself and to all the plants, because plants need, just like people need energy to survive, right? Need energy, nutrients, and microbial activity. And this is taken from his video, by the way. So just like a human being. Now, what happens when there is too much salt, excuse me, in the soil, which there is a lot of times too much salt in the soil, because salt is a stabilizer for fertilizers and for pesticides. So in order for them not to blow up, as he is saying, they are stabilized with salt. So the more fertilizer you add, the more pesticide you add, even natural fertilizer like manure, all manure has a lot of salt. So the more you add, the more salt you add to the soil. Now, as I speak about the soil, just translate it all to, all the beings, all the live beings here, because we're all working very, very similarly when it comes to that. So what ends up happening is that the soil, a lot of times, becomes excessively conductive, right? So excessively electrically conductive. So because it is excessively it has excessive electric conductivity, that's the right way to say it, it sends it that much electricity to the plant, and it actually burns the roots, right? It burns the roots, so the plant is unhealthy. Also, the way it shows up in the plant, it shows up as burnt tips in the plant. If you see brown tips, little teeny tiny brown tips, that's because of the excess of energy that is passing through the plant, that it actually burns the plant. And sometimes it will go a little bit, sometimes it'll go a lot, depending on how excessive that energy is. And this is exactly what's happening with us human beings. And I've been looking for ways to explain it, right? But since I'm not a scientist, it is hard. And he's explained it in such a beautiful way, in such an amazing way. So this is exactly what happens with us, because, there is another point. When a plant exhibits too much electrical conductivity, right, when there's too much electricity passes through it, like sometimes through us, because guess what? Guess who is eating a lot of salt, especially in this country, right? All the high salt foods. Think about it, right? So when the electricity passes through the plant, not only it burns the tips, right? So all the tips of the plants that are by the ocean, for example, that are closer to not all the plants, but some. He says that some of the plants, I haven't checked, but I will. But I see a lot of plants that have burnt tips, and he says it's not the primary reason. The primary cause of that is not the drought. The drought is a secondary cause. The primary cause of that is excessive electric conductivity. There's so much electricity, there's so much energy passing through the plant that it burns the tips. And then drought or not enough water is actually adding to that, right? So it's concentrating salts even further, but it's not the primary cause. The primary cause is too much salt, excessive electric conductivity, which is exactly like for a human body with excessive salt intake, right? We get burned fingernails. It's not burnt, right? But they're chipped. We get hair, который секутся, split hair. We get thinning hair. We get all sorts of those things at the very ends. But he also says that you can observe with camera, and people used to observe it, especially in the ocean, that there is a coronal discharge. So when there is, let's say, there is a storm in the sea, and so there is a lot of electricity in the air, right? And then you have something that already has a lot of electricity within it, let's say a plant. Let's not talk about the ocean. Let's talk about the plant, right? There, during the storm, people can see halos around the plants. It's because there's so much ions in the air, and so much the soil is so electrically charged that what ends up happening is it ends up releasing all of that extra charge in a form of a purple looking halo around the tips of the plants, and sometimes burning it. there is a very interesting thing. I was trying to order an ionizer to California, and I can't. It's illegal to have an ionizer, air ionizer in California. Now, where I'm going with this is here. Isn't this strange that all of a sudden we moved into this country, right? And into this continent that was someone else's. All the people that were here were wiped out, and here this is what was built: a country with diets that is full of sodium, right? And what if somebody, right, knows or needs to harness that electrical energy that we are conducting? I've been saying this all along. He brought it home for me. I was like, how can I explain it? That especially in the big cities are connected. There's such a congestion of people that it's like we're being milked for energy. And who would want to have that much electricity, or to harness electricity and to recycle it and sell it back to us? Think. I'm not gonna call any names, but think hard. This is not a small thing, right? It's a very long process that has been happening, and it's happening in phases. Phase 1 generation. Phase 2, second generation. By the time one generation is gone, phase 2 begins. The new generation doesn't even know what happened with the last generation, so that it is continuously forgotten, and you're continuously start fresh and like, oh, okay, well, this is nice, good life, right? So I will link all the videos. I encourage you to watch a lot of Thomas Dykstra's videos, his presentations on bricks and health of plants, and try to see how it affects human beings. And I love one of his, and back in the day he was presenting with I just called his name, I just told you his name, John Kempf, from regenerative agriculture. And one of his first presentations that blew my mind, this presentation was presented during COVID, and I was like, wow, it explained everything that I've been trying to say, but it explained it as it relates to plants. And it said that a plant with high Brix levels, which is high sugar levels, will never attract bugs of any sort, or any pests for that matter, right? Because pests are, or specifically insects and such, are nature's garbage collectors. They come to collect an unhealthy plant, to take it apart. And if you raise the sugar level within the plant higher, to make it a healthier plant, more vibrant plant, these insects don't have a digestive system that is capable of digesting a healthy plant, so they will never come. And they come in stages. So certain low Brix, you'll get these insects. Then if you lift the Brix, these insects will disappear, the new ones will come. Up until you reach, I don't know where it's at 14 Brix level or something like that. And then your plant is pretty much immune to all of those things. You can have, 2 rows of plants, one with high Brix and one with not, and you will see that one is full of certain, insects, and the other one is completely free of those. And that, to me, at that point, I was trying to explain to people how a virus is going to attack an unhealthy individual, because it will not touch a healthy one, like 100% healthy one. I don't care what you say, that is absolute truth. I did not, stress out about any of that, any of the sterilizing. I actually wanted as much microbial matter on me as possible to protect me from the virus. And I knew that I am completely immune to this specific virus because of how healthy I was already by that time. Not 100% as I am today, but I was absolutely on my way to the high bricks level. My immunity was so high, it was goodbye, you can't touch me. So I did not require anything extra. If you have a compromised immunity, then those things will come. And you have to protect yourself, for whatever reason. But this is not a judgmental call to say like, oh, the virus comes for the unhealthy ones, and some people are predisposed to certain disease. So don't get me wrong on that. I'm just saying how I know it, how I see it, and how I see the truth to be. Another thing, and this is again it's connecting the two topics together, the one about excessive electric conductivity and health of plants or health of beings, and also microbial matter. So Thomas Dykstra was talking in his presentation about how the soil will rebounce, right? If you, let's say, drive a tractor through it, when it has good electrical conductivity and good nutrition and good microbial activity. So microbial activity, and he's like, if you go with your tractor over the soil and it doesn't bounce back, I know you have a low microbial activity and high electrical conductivity, because low microbial activity because microbes, they help regulate electric conductivity. So if you have low microbes, you will have higher electric conductivity. The soil will not spring back if you drive something over it. It hyper compresses. It doesn't breathe. It doesn't breathe anymore, just like a person. But what I want to say is that it's over sterilizing. When you're over sterilizing yourself, you're exposing yourself to hyper electrical conductivity, to excessive electrical conductivity. So you're eating salty food and you're over sterilizing yourself. So you just took two of the most vital things that are vital for the healthy life of a being, which is energy, right? You over excess yourself with energy. You didn't take away the energy, right? You added too much, so much that you can't handle this much energy. That's why you feel burnt out. Your ends are feeling burnt out, besides the physical things that happen with your body. But you're also, right, all of a sudden you burn out. Too much energy, it burns you out like a burnt tip of a plant. But you also took away microbial activity by sterilizing yourself. So by taking away microbial activity, you raised your electrical conductivity. And here you have all these burnouts. And forget what I said, with who might want to, which energies, right, are standing behind something like this, who would be interested in creating this unhealthy cycle, right, to then collect the excess and harness and sell it back to us in a way. But think about it, see what your thoughts are. And I'm getting a message. It says, well, it's just for me. but it is confirming everything that I'm saying. And I've been writing this in my notes for many years now, all of this. And now that I have a scientist speaking about this exact thing that I've been trying to say, just makes me feel so validated. And this is something that is so simple to me, such a simple truth, that we don't suffer from the lack of energy. It's programmed into us to believe that that's what it is, but it is not. We have all the energy that we could ever need and more. We don't need any more energy. What we need is ways to learn how to utilize this energy, how to be productive. What can we do? We also need healthy vehicles which are full of nutrition and full of microbial activity, so that we can handle that much energy passing through us. Instead, our food is lacking nutrition. 99% of our food is lacking nutrition. We're sterilizing ourselves, sterilizing our hands, sterilizing our babies' napapas, pacifiers, and sterilizing everything in the world, killing all the microbial activity. And then all this energy passes through us. We can't handle it. We can't handle it. So let's look into these things and start making choices. Start making choices now that this is becoming such a good. I don't know how public it is going to be. I don't know how many people watch Thomas Dykstra. If he ever comes out with a video, I am right there, because he is a genius. He is not for everyone as far as, the way he speaks, but just listen to what he is saying. And also his I don't know, I don't know if they're in partnership or not, but again, I'm forgetting his name, but I will include it in the comments. He is also a fabulous guy. He is Amish, and he is explaining things that he's learned firsthand. One more thing, I also follow, and I am so fascinated and interested with the culture that we have wiped out here. The culture that we have wiped out. The culture, like wiping out the culture from our stomach, sterilizing. It's like we sterilized the land, and brought our own microbiome from the old world into the new world. So I'm very interested in native culture, the culture that we have wiped out. And when I say we, I know it wasn't me, I know it wasn't you. Nevertheless, someone has to stand up and say, hey, let's bring it back, because we did it, sort of. Because now, of course, as I said, as generations were wiped out, right? Even our previous generations, now there is nobody to blame. It's like, well, what now? Now it's a new story, now it's a new day. No, we can't do that. We have to look back. Because that's the origin of this land. That's the true microbiome of this land. So as I'm listening to a lot of beautiful lectures, presentations by Sarah Kalvosa Olsen. She is a chef and a native lady who is a chef. She is putting together different recipes with indigenous ingredients, with native ingredients, native foods, traditional methods, and creating them so that they are more available to all of us. She is decolonizing the diet. So many things are adding up, but she is very, you could hear in her speech that she is very hurt and offended by all the regenerative agriculture people, because she's like, we've been doing that all along. Please give us some credit, because this is what you took away, you wiped that out, and now you're bringing it like it's your whole new thing, regenerative agriculture. So when I listen to John Kemp, I'm always remembering what she said, yet I see that he's an absolute joy to listen to, very well educated in his field person. So I don't know where I stand on that, but I know that there is also that a viewpoint on the entire subject. Okay, this was just I pulled over because I'm listening to Thomas Dykstra as I'm driving, and it's just firing up. Everything is just coming into one big picture, and I'm like, wow, I've been saying this all along about excess conductivity. I would just call it extra energy. We all have too much energy, but here he is explaining how salt can create this excessive conductivity where too much electricity passes through us and we burn out. But also very interesting about the coronal discharge. So when there is a storm and you're already too charged and there's too much charge here, you're going to start having coronal discharge. And I'm wondering, and people used to call it like saint, like they would say that, oh, it's something saint is protecting them. So I'm wondering, I'm getting a bodily reaction right now, and that means usually that this is significant. So when I'm getting, yes, I feel it. So when I'm very excited. So when I used to go to museums and study art, the icone, the old pictures of saints, the old art forms of saints, drawings of saints, paintings of saints, pictures that have halos, right? I wonder if that was one of those phenomena of that electric discharge, coronal electric discharge that people are seeing. I also am coming from Shasta now, which is so full of these stories and pictures and accounts of things glowing and all this stuff. I have looked into all that. I'm more a nature type, so I come to Shasta for nature, not as much for spirituality. I appreciate the fact that I think nature there is the way it is because people there are the way they are, free to see things, free to explore things, free to believe things, whichever they want to believe, and speak freely about them. So nature around them, of course, is a reflection of what's within, so it thrives, right? Everything is colorful and green and purple and moist and lush, just like the people that are there. But I am not the one going after like looking for spirits or looking for Lemurians or looking for flying ships. All that exists within the people that are there, so they're projecting it out. I'm more there for my trees. And where was I going with this? Yes, so if my car broke down, and I had to stay over Gail's, and she has a guest room, and there are all these things of paintings and stuff of people glowing on the mountain, right? Or if there was a deck of cards, and every card you could see like something is glowing, the mountain is glowing, and I'm thinking that here is where science, Thomas Dykstra, just connected that halo effect, at least for me, with a scientific explanation, which is an excessive electrical conductivity, especially when the atmosphere is highly ionized. And the atmosphere in Shasta, believe me that it's highly ionized. smell it in the air, and there's constant clouds over Shasta, those lenticular clouds, and there's constant storms. You see, I came down here, I'm almost by Shasta Lake, I'm just past Shasta Lake, and it's 80 something. Today it was 30 there. So you have this differential, and then you have so much greenery, and it all glows, and it's all so special because of all this electric conductivity and the coronal discharge effect. I think I am so thankful to Thomas Dykstra for being a scientist and actually going ahead and taking the road not traveled and bringing all of this information from the scientific side into the mainstream. I think it is fantastic. This is the guy who will build a bridge between the spiritual community, between people who just know the truth because they've uncovered it within, they don't need a scientific explanation, and all those who need a scientific explanation. And I think he will tie both ends up and create a bridge a bridge of communication, a bridge of understanding between the two, that you can explain it scientifically, but these people already knew it, right? And they didn't need to have the scientific proof to be confident in their knowledge. So, all right, I'm going to start driving again. I'm just super excited. I'm tripping over my words. That's how excited I am. I also I've hiked up the mountain today, so I'm probably super charged right now. So let's drive safe and remember that I love you. Bye.